Welcome to the Liberal Buzz Show. I'm your host, Denise Dory, and I'm here to talk about the deferred action for childhood arrivals, and today is the last day to apply for that. It was the last day, October 5th, if you haven't already applied. But then if you've applied, then the 6-month extension date ends March 3rd. So we're gonna put out some information about it. Now there's a website you go to, SFILEN. It's right here, SFILEN, right there, and it will walk you through how to navigate DACA. So here we go. With that, now say ICE comes to your front door, don't open it. There's some information about that. I'll put it up in Spanish as well. I wish I had more languages, because there's more languages than just Spanish and English. But, sorry. Okay, so we got the end of DACA. So individuals with a current unexpired grant of DACA will continue to hold DACA until it expires. And so if they're eligible to renew under the above guidelines, which is, it'll protect from deportation and work permits until their current expiration date. So they won't, and they don't refer DACA recipients and applicants to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, for deportation unless they meet the notice to appear unless they meet the guidelines or pose a risk to national security or public safety. That's on their website. So now when it pertains to work permits, if you currently have an unexpired work permit, you're still allowed to keep your work permit and have the right to work legally until your work permit expiration date. And you have no obligation to inform your employer. So you don't have to tell them that your DACA has ended. Your employer, they don't have the right to ask you either. So whether you're a DACA recipient or how you got your work permit, that's inadmissible. So one good thing about the rights in this country is you have the right not to open the door for anybody, even if you're not a citizen. So that's one thing in our favor. I don't know if the police always respect that. Tell me if they haven't. I'd like to know. Tweet me, Denise Dory, right here. Yeah, anyway, I'll put it up later. So we've got driver's licenses. Say you've got a social security number, and it's valid for life, even when your work permit and DACA grant expires. So you can, now you can use your social security number for education, banking, and housing and other purposes. And you should be able to use your social security number you got under DACA as your social security number even after your work permit expires. Well, that's interesting to know. Now, the government's September 5th announcement, remember when they came out, now we're going to end DACA, right? But they're going to get, and then the 6-month extension after a huge uproar, of course. And the 6-month extension was just to placate people, I suppose. I don't know why this president's just, I hope he goes. So, eligibility requirements. Now, if you have a driver's license or state ID card, it's going to still be valid, and it'll make you eligible for a driver's license or a state-issued, ID card. Like California's got ID cards. Now, if you want to travel, now there you go, traveling. The government's September 5th announcement made important changes to DACA recipients' ability to travel outside the country, also known as advanced parole. They make you sound like you're already convicted of something. So anyway, that's unbelievable. That remained valid. The grants of the advanced parole remain valid, and that individuals retain the ability to exit and return to the country within the dates provided in the travel document. And people with a valid grant of advanced parole, if you have that, you have to go to an experienced immigration service provider before you leave the country. So let's see if there's probably addresses for them on this website. We could take a peek at the website if you like. I think we should. It's called, well, anyway, it's right here. The website's there. So SFILEN. So that will give you a lot of this information. Probably how to get an attorney. And if you travel on advanced parole and are currently abroad, make sure to return to the U.S. before the deadline. Now, there's other DACA. A lot of the DACA recipients are eligible for another immigration option to get a work permit or even a green card. And then you talk to an immigration services provider to understand your legal options. Now, when I want legal help, I go to 400 McAllister. But the immigration services provider, they're going to help you understand your options, because they might, if you're eligible for an immigration benefit, and you can find low-cost immigration legal services at, immigrationlawhelp.org. I guess I should type that in somewhere. So I'll put it up when I upload this video. I'm going to put that video, that website on there so that people can get to it and get the information. So here's this in Spanish. I'm going to put this in Spanish. Oh, there's the phone numbers. That's at the end. Okay. And so now, if there's fraudulent service providers, we have to warn you. Don't just take anybody's word for it that they can help you. Make sure that they're reputable. You've got to confirm their credentials and ask for a written contract and a receipt for any payments. So you get a receipt for payments and get a second opinion. Don't just go to one. And now, if there's criminal issues involved, any criminal arrest or conviction can put you at risk of immigration authorities. So avoid contact with law enforcement that may result in a criminal arrest in the first place. And I know that's easy for me to say, because just going outside can get you in trouble, even though you didn't do anything. Just by the way people look. If you do end up being arrested, make sure you consult an expert immigration attorney. And I wish I knew somebody. But I know Omar Figueroa. He's very accessible. Omar Figueroa is a cannabis attorney, and I'm sure he's a cannabis attorney for Shona and the Axis of Love and the compassionate cannabis community. I'm sure he would know somebody. So Omar Figueroa, I recommend him. He's out of San Francisco. Now, you have to avoid like I said, don't, be careful with the cops. And if you do have a criminal conviction, which most DACA recipients don't, see an attorney also to find out if it can be changed. Maybe sometimes you can get your record expunged. Now you just go to the police station and get a copy of your record, and you have to go to the public defender's office, and it doesn't take long. Then you get a letter in the mail. I did it. I expunged about 7 pages of my criminal record. So yes, it's doable. Now, these are your rights. This is really important. Now, up here, you do have constitutional rights, even under the Constitution. And Donald Trump isn't the Constitution. So you don't have to open the door for them. Don't open the door if they come to the door. And it'd be a good idea to have a peephole in your door so you can see who's out there. And you don't have to answer any questions if they ask you, even through the door. You don't have to ask any questions even through the door. If they try to talk to you, you know, you have the right to remain silent. And don't sign anything. Now, one of the things you tell them is they have to slide the warrant under the door. If they have a warrant signed by a magistrate, they'd slide that thing under the door. Well, then they have a warrant to come in. But you still don't, even if they come in, you still don't have to answer any questions without speaking to a lawyer. Now, I've seen I live in the Tenderloin, and I occasionally see, people cops and defendants waiting for an attorney to come. So it's not unusual, and just be patient. The attorney will come and advise you, and the less you say, the better. Sometimes people really incriminate themselves by what they say to the cops. And and there's a card. There's a card that you can give to agents if they're at your home, and it's on the website, on this website here, sfilen.org. It's on that website. You can get a card that shows them that you know your constitutional rights. I've got one in my wallet. Always carry one. Always have one of those, and just hand it. If the cops bug you, hand it to the cops. That's all you have to. You don't even have to say anything if you have the card. If you do have the card, just say, I wish to remain silent. I want to speak to an attorney, and that's it. Don't say anything else. Nothing. Don't give them your phone number. Nothing. And some of the things that they say on there is I don't want to speak with you, answer your questions, or sign or hand any documents based on my Fifth Amendment right under the United States Constitution, which means we have the right to not incriminate ourselves. We often take the Fifth Amendment when we testify in court. Again, we don't have to testify against ourselves. Remember, Mark Furman did that when that racist cop. So maybe he got away with it. We'll see what happens. I hope this works for us too. So now, just don't even let them search your vehicle. You don't have to let them search your vehicle until that's your Fourth Amendment right. Your right to privacy. Within your papers and your personal space, which is your car and your house, because they have doors and they shut. All you have to do is hand them a card through the driver window, open it a crack, and that's all you have to do. Don't open the door. Don't get out of the car. Tell your passengers to do the same. Okay? And I hope this works for you. It should. And you also tell them you don't want. They can't enter your home, like I said, unless they have a warrant, and it's got to have your name on it, and that's the only way they can get in. So you follow the news. Also, keep following news stories. Join Twitter and type in DACA and find out the latest news stories and keep yourself informed. Now, go to reliable sources for the status of the DACA and other immigration programs. And now, this website here isn't a scam. So if you want to start somewhere with no scams, start here. Those are the people that are scam-free. Now, there's some numbers to call in different cities. Now, in San Francisco, it's 415-200-1548. And Monterey, there's a bunch of different counties. So that'll help too. And let's see. I'm going to post the other websites when I post the video from this show. I'm going to post on the YouTube channel. You'll be able to find it on my YouTube channel, which is Denise Dory, the same as my Twitter. So there'll be a lot of good sources of information. Now here's some news. Breaking news from today. Now Nancy Pelosi came on TV. This is March 5th, which is the last day of DACA. And she said it's too short a period of time to enroll. I'm quoting her. She wants to make it retroactive. So we'll see if anyone listens to her. And now they're trying to get rid of her. So there's a movement to get rid of Nancy Pelosi, but she's good on immigration issues. I don't know. I haven't figured out why people are mad at her, but for anything new that they aren't already mad at her about. But we'll see. And now we're wondering too if the government is going to protect your DACA information. Now that's the question of the century, isn't it? Because I mean they say they won't, but it's like, oh, here I got a call. Hey, what's up, G?
Undocumented people in the United States, when the police are trying to apprehend them, they are used to their local police, and they're afraid of their police because their police won't necessarily take them to jail. They might take them out to an open field and kill them. And so when they get arrested here in the United States, they freak out. They think the cops here are going to take them out of the field and kill them. They don't realize they're just going to jail, and there's a good chance that the judge is not going to throw the book at them or whatever. They'd be released in 24 hours or whatever.
I guess American cops would rather shoot people on camera.
Well, no. The thing is that the police need to be sensitive to that because if you're being apprehended by the Stasi, you're probably not going to jail. They're probably going to kill you. So that case, I guess you would have to fight for your life. But
so
anyway,
tell me how you who did you inform of this?
Oh, I told the commissioner, the police commissioner lady, and she took it in. I think they're being more sensitive. They're being more compassionate now because of the shooting where you had 5 or 6 cops shoot this one guy with a little tiny 3-inch blade knife. Yeah. It looked like an execution. But anyway, what's made a big advancement for police brutality, against police brutality, is your phone camera, your movies.
Yeah, and have a big chip in the phone too, because if your chip is full, it won't take movies. So just a note. Okay, go on.
What I think they should do is they should make body cams available to the general public. Everybody should be walking around with a camera on their forehead.
Have one implanted, yeah, along with a chip in our arm to do transactions at the bank. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Trump is going to do that. But anyway, have a nice one. I'm watching the game here. See you later.
Cheers. Thanks, G. Yeah, he'd be in a position to know. He lived in Texas. He was brought up there, and he knows a few things about immigration. So, and talking to folks. So, I've got 2 minutes left here. Let's see, what haven't I gotten to? Okay, there's I can't read Spanish. The East Bay Sanctuary Covenant East Bay Sanctuary Covenant. If you look there on Bancroft in Berkeley, there's a lot of help in Oakland. But here it is: the USF renovation for free DACA. That's 2199 Fulton, and their number is 415-422-4385. Try calling them too. I suggest. I guess I'm out of time, so let's get to I'd like to plug my friend Frank Molinaro's show. It's every second, fourth Thursday. His show is called Psychic Frank's Mystery School. And he's really good at straightening out auras and, you know, through reading your chart and the cards. It's amazing. He's amazing. And I hope you can catch him. 6 p.m. He really rocks. And 5 p.m. 5 p.m. second and fourth Thursday, this channel here. So, and I also, please adopt a shelter pet. I'm so glad I did. I adopted one off the youth list. And that cat is the best cat I've ever had. Well, besides all the other. He's a great, you know. I strongly suggest you adopt a shelter pet, especially since a lot of them got displaced during these floods and hurricanes. There's a lot of homeless animals right now, and SPCA is doing what they can, but they need your help. All right, so with that,
You thought you were above the problems that you thought you never had.